Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel where we bring you the hottest and most detailed coverage on everything Dallas Cowboys. And today's story is absolutely packed with fire. From Micah Parsons finally breaking his silence on the ongoing contract talks, to how the Cowboys may now be navigating DaRon Bland's future based on what just happened with Sauce Gardner, and the New York Jets. This episode is full of twists, tension, and real insight into the decisions that could shape the future of the Cowboys defense for years to come. If you're a true fan of America's team, buckle up, because today's video has everything from contract drama, future projections, player dynamics, and some eye-opening comparisons that may just flip how you view the Cowboys' off-season priorities. Let's dive straight into what has been making headlines across the NFL landscape. Micah Parsons has spoken out, and he's done it in a way that has fans, analysts, and even front office execs on high alert. Parsons, who has quickly established himself as not just one of the best players on the Cowboys roster, but arguably one of the most disruptive forces in the entire NFL, finally addressed the swirling questions around his contract extension, or the lack thereof. For months now, the conversation in Dallas has been centered on when the Cowboys will lock him down with a mega deal that reflects both his talent and his value. And while the front office has remained tight-lipped, Parsons decided that he was going to let the world know exactly how he feels. Speaking with reporters during a recent charity event, Parsons was asked point-blank about the status of his contract talks. And in true Micah fashion, he didn't sugarcoat it. He acknowledged that while nothing official has come through yet from the Cowboys' side, he knows his worth, and he's not willing to settle for anything less. He pointed to the recent deals that edge rushers like Nick Bosa and T.J. Watt have landed and made it clear that he expects to be compensated at the top of the market. Parsons said, quote, "I love this team, I love what we're building, but let's be real, I've outplayed that rookie deal. I've shown what I can do, and I'm only getting better." And you know what? He's not wrong. Since entering the league, Micah Parsons has been a flat-out game changer. He's the kind of player who doesn't just rack up stats, he shifts the way opposing offenses have to game plan every single week. Whether he's coming off the edge, dropping into coverage, or forcing turnovers, Parsons has proven that he's a generational talent. So when he says he wants to be paid like one, it's hard to argue with him. Now, here's where things get really interesting. According to sources close to the team, the Cowboys have been weighing multiple options regarding Parsons' contract. Some within the organization reportedly want to extend him before the season starts, locking him in before the market inflates even more. Others, however, are wary of committing too early, especially given the team's current cap situation and the looming question marks around Dak Prescott's own extension. But Parsons making his stance public could change the tone of negotiations entirely. It's one thing when the media speculates, it's another when the star himself steps forward and essentially tells the front office, time to pay up. And speaking of tone-changing developments, we now pivot to another crucial piece of the Cowboys' defense, cornerback DaRon Bland. The man who shocked the league last season with his record-setting pick-six numbers is now entering a phase of his career where the team must consider locking him up long-term before his value skyrockets. But just as the Cowboys began internal discussions about extending Bland, something major happened in New York. Sauce Gardner, the Jets' elite cornerback and arguably one of the most talented young defensive backs in the game, has set a new bar with what insiders are calling a massive framework deal that could reshape the cornerback market overnight. While the Jets haven't officially announced the details of Sauce Gardner's extension yet, multiple sources around the league are reporting that it could exceed the previous high watermarks set by Jaire Alexander and Denzel Ward. We're talking somewhere north of $22 million per year, with significant guarantees. And that ripple effect is already being felt in Dallas. The Cowboys now have to ask themselves, if Sauce Gardner is worth that kind of money, how much is DaRon Bland worth? Sure, Sauce has the lockdown reputation and elite man-to-man skills, but Bland just broke records and was a defensive touchdown machine. The production speaks volumes. This dynamic is creating a tricky situation for the Cowboys front office. On one hand, Bland has been everything you could ask for in a young, developing cornerback. He's got instincts, ball skills, and an uncanny ability to make plays when the team needs them most. On the other hand, if the Cowboys wait too long, Bland could command top-tier money that could severely complicate future roster building, especially with Parsons, Prescott, and CeeDee Lamb all needing extensions in the near future. It's a delicate balance of talent evaluation, market trends, and timing. And that timing may now be accelerated thanks to Sauce Gardner's impact on the cornerback market. And don't think for a second that these developments are happening in a vacuum. Micah Parsons is watching what's going on with DaRon Bland. Bland is watching how the Cowboys treat Parsons. The rest of the locker room is observing how the team handles its star players. All of this adds up to a bigger picture. What kind of message does the Cowboys front office want to send? Are they the kind of organization that rewards homegrown, elite talent early, or are they going to let the market dictate every move and risk losing their stars to frustration or free agency? One of the most telling elements in Parsons' comments was his mention of team culture. He said, quote, "We've built something special here. But every player wants to feel valued, and this league moves fast." That's not just a casual statement, that's a calculated reminder. Because Parsons knows that a lot of what the Cowboys are building defensively hinges on his presence. Take him out of the equation, and suddenly this top 5 defense looks a whole lot less scary. And here's another layer that fans can't ignore. Parsons and Bland are the face of the Cowboys' defensive youth movement. Their impact is undeniable, and yet they're now entering negotiations that could redefine what it means to pay young defensive stars in Dallas. The front office, led by Stephen and Jerry Jones, is now facing mounting pressure not only from agents and media, but also from the players themselves, who are becoming more vocal, more strategic, and more aware of their leverage in the modern NFL. What's more, there's an undercurrent in Dallas that's beginning to mirror what we've seen happen in other franchises where talented young cores begin to unravel if not properly supported or compensated. Just look at what happened in Tennessee, where the Titans let several key pieces walk only to realize too late that you can't just plug and play elite production. Or what's happening in Chicago, where financial missteps have led to instability and roster churn. The Cowboys can't afford to fall into that trap, especially not when they're this close to competing for a Super Bowl. So how do the Cowboys navigate this? It starts with clarity. If they view Micah Parsons as the centerpiece of their defense, and by all accounts, they do, then the deal has to get done, and soon. Don't drag it into the regular season. Don't let it become a distraction. Reward the guy who has consistently performed at an all-pro level since day one. And as for DaRon Bland, the Cowboys must decide quickly, is he part of your future secondary alongside Trayvon Diggs? Or are you hoping to fill that role cheaper down the line? Because if you want him, now is the time to strike before his value balloons even more. This is also where the Cowboys scouting and analytics departments have to step up. They've done a phenomenal job in finding mid-round gems like Bland, and if they believe they can continue to do so, they might opt to invest elsewhere. But betting on finding the next DaRon Bland is a gamble. You already have him. You know what he brings. Why let the market get in the way? And let's not forget the emotional component of this. Fans rally around players like Parsons and Bland because they represent something special: talent, grit, loyalty, and homegrown excellence. Losing either of them, or mishandling their contracts, could send ripple effects not just through the locker room but throughout the entire fanbase. Cowboys Nation is watching this unfold, and trust me, they're not going to be patient if they feel the front office is dragging its feet. All in all, today's developments highlight just how delicate and important the offseason can be, not just for building rosters, but for building culture, loyalty, and long-term success. Micah Parsons making his voice heard is a signal. Sauce Gardner's rumored mega extension is a warning shot. And DaRon Bland's future is now at a crossroads. The Cowboys have the pieces. The only question now is, will they play them right? Thanks for watching today's deep dive into the latest breaking news around the Dallas Cowboys. If you found this video informative and you want more daily updates, analysis, and fan-first content about America's team, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Let me know in the comments what you think the Cowboys should do with Parsons and Bland. Should they extend both now? Wait it out? Or prioritize one over the other?